Hi there. I just want to do a little talk, and I think I want to talk about stillness. And this is very, very important, you know, um, because obviously, I was just talking to someone about how my awakening manifested, and it manifested because I had enough. And I say it all the time that I know that I didn't awaken because of just the pain I suffered on this reality. When I awakened, it was such pain that made me awaken, that it wasn't the pain that I suffered in this lifetime. So I know that I was dealing with, people call it past lives, but there isn't actually past. It's all now, but it's parallel, but just experienced as past. But when I had this awakening, it was a feeling of sitting down. I've had enough. And what I realized, as soon as you stop looking externally, once you stop that and you observe stillness and you listen to your feelings, you feel your feelings, you let that lead the way. That when you go within, that's when God is there, and God is the divinity. That is the messages that is within stillness. That is it. The message, you hear it all the time of so many people that have a bad experience. They have depression and something, and they all say, oh, a voice told me in my head to stop. That voice that has helped you heal, that helps so many people heal, that is what happens when you're in stillness. It's not actually a voice, it's actually you. But these messages, these divine messages, are within stillness, right? And that is the miracle. That's the real miracle. I know that when I was depressed, I could have done anything. I used to jog, for example. I would go jogging and running and exercising, sometimes just to get rid of the depression, and it would go for a little while, but then it would just come back a few hours later, because I was always a relentless thinker. But I was a relentless thinker, but I used to think very negatively about things. And so that's what I used to manifest in my reality, horrible thoughts, and then to a point where I couldn't even think anymore. And I just wanted to die. And as soon, like I said in the start of the video, and I say it all the time, that I stopped when I had the awakening at the age of 24. I'm 32 now. And when the awakening happened, it was a feeling of, that's it, I've had enough, I've had it. And that's when I stopped looking externally and just observed stillness. That's when I awakened. And that is when you awaken. And now what I do all the time is I'm always meditating. Meditating all the time just means that you're observing stillness all the time. Once you give up the external things, right, and start going within stillness, because everyone's got their own divinity, you got to understand. And someone else's journey is different from your journey. We all have to go on our own spiritual journeys within. And that happens when you stop looking outward at what other people are doing and be present. And then you will start to get messages. And this is coming from your divine self that is within stillness. See, that's all we really have, really, is just stillness. That's the only truth to anything. Is that all we have is the here and now. And when we're looking externally, we don't find these answers to things. And then what happens is, when you start to be still, you start to manifest different kind of things. You start to be more open-hearted about things instead of closed-minded. Like if someone's saying something you don't agree with, when you're more present and more open-hearted, you realize that it's your illusion, and so you're open to being wrong. You're open to the idea that you can actually get it wrong, and you're open to that, and then you're really ascending and healing. And it happens once you open up to stillness. That's it. That's what going within really means. It's just you're open now to the stillness, and that's what meditation is. And this is my path. This is what happened to me. That's it, and I had enough. I was 24. I'm very grateful for that day of having enough, and that point, that moment. And I realised from it that everything was perfect. If I wouldn't have felt as bad as I did at that moment, then I wouldn't have awakened. And that's how it is. But it's like I said earlier in the video, that you hear all the time of great people that are very well known or not well known as well, and they all say, oh, I had a voice in my head saying it, or I had a strong feeling. That's stillness. That only ever happens when you're still. And that's what awakening is. Awakening happens when you stop looking externally and you just say, right, okay, I give up now. What has this stillness got to show me? I've give up. I don't know what to do anymore. And that's when God is there for you. Right? That is when the divine God is going to help you then, once you give up. Because God always gives us this option. It gives us this option of looking externally, or, if we look externally, God isn't interested. It's only interested when we are still. And then once we let go of the external things, then we manifest things. Then we start becoming abundant. And we become a different state once we're more present. It's like the information I get. I don't sit there and look up information. My thing is present, stillness, and then things just manifest. Nice things just manifest then. And then, so I'm on this path of it. What this path has shown me is to just follow that. Follow what feels right to me, what feels good to me. And that is the quickest way to ascension. It's such a quick way to ascension, because once you're following that stillness and the good feelings, your heart space, you find clarity into things. This is how I healed my depression. I had depression till the age of 28. Had the awakening at 24, but it faded away at 28, because once you're starting to be more still and present, you start to work out why you're depressed. You can do anything you want. You can sit in an ice bath. You can exercise, but it's the thought patterns, it's the thought processes, the way we look at reality, our perceptual state, that dictates how we feel. Everything comes from your perceptions, right? Your perceptual state is how you see the world, and that's your reality. You can only change this perceptual state by changing it yourself. By actually observing your own darkness. And that's what awakening really is. It's the moment when you start to observe your own dark feelings and stop running. That's when you wake up, when you stop running away from it. And this is how I healed my depression. Because I used to run from my depression and, do different things. But then the awakening was saying, stop this, you've got to face these feelings in order to work out why you're feeling this way, and then you can correct it. And this is the only way that you properly cure these thought patterns, because it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do externally or what physical thing you do. If you're thinking the same way, then you will have the same result. Everything comes from how you look at reality. And this is what many don't get. Because many people, what they want, and I probably would have wanted this before my awakening. Many people want an alternative to going within. They want an alternative to presence. They want an alternative to their emotions. They want something else that's going to cure it all. But it doesn't come. It doesn't come. You look at all the people There's so many people now that have, I mean, I've seen them on YouTube. After my spiritual awakening, after I was looking up on YouTube, see what it was, and I found that people have had spiritual awakenings like myself, and that it happens when you start to focus on your feelings, when you start observing your own darkness. That's when it happens. It happens once you choose to go within. And that is how you heal properly, right? And people don't do it because they're afraid it's going to hurt them. That's why people don't want to do it. But then this is how you get the people that are really awake and the people that haven't had this experience yet. The reason they haven't is because you're not choosing to be present. You're not choosing to say, okay, what is this feeling show me? Right? What it's showing you is what you have manifested. Your reality right now is showing you what you have manifested, whether it's a physical reality or how you feel, but your feelings manifest your physical reality. So to heal from it, like this videos have been about, it's all about embracing your own dark emotions and open up to everything. Just give up with the chase for something else other than what's here. And then you will start to find answers to why you're feeling that way, and then you will cure it. And that is how I cured my depression. And I just like to share this, this is how I had a spiritual awakening. And the reason I share it is because to help other people awaken too. But everything is within you. Follow your soul, because everyone, it doesn't matter who it is, everyone's got their own individual spiritual journey and spiritual awakening journey and spiritual ascension path, because you've got different problems than I had. So you've got to go that's why you have to go within, because you can't go in the same path as anyone else, because you've got your own uniqueness and your own unique way. So that's why you have to do what I'm saying. Stop the chase, be still, and go within. All is within. But anyway, I'm just going to end it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything follows divine order and divine timing. Thank you for watching.